Hi, David Rallman here. Welcome to episode 4 of our Building a Song Diary. We have a structure, which we talked about last week. We have a main theme, which we discovered in episode 1. We use some very basic instruments for this. We're gonna use some of the software synthesizers that you might have on your computer. If not, I recommend that you get some. There are some great collections out there. And we're just going to change those sounds and we'll see what happens. So I'm just going to start with the intro and I'm going to loop my intro and I'm going to start working on those chords here. As far as the chords that we had originally, it was an organ type of thing. This is how it sounds like. It almost has like this old school horror movie type of sound to it. That's not what I'm going for. So I'm going to go through some of the sounds that I have here. What I'm going to go for here is the Spectrasonic Omnisphere. And these are all the different pads that I have. If I click on one of them, that's going to load that up. And those sounds that I loaded are assigned to the chords that I recorded previously. So if I play this with this particular sound, that's what I'll get. The chord is played with that particular sound. I don't like this. I'm probably going to use some kind of strings here. The Adagio Transparent Strings is a pad that I use quite a bit. It sounds pretty good to me. And if we keep that sound throughout, I think it'll work. As of now, we have 4 instruments. We have a bass, which we'll talk about later. We have an electric piano for the theme, which we'll also talk about later. We have the pad, which I like, for the chords. And we have a simple loop that we added last week just for a kind of a guideline, but we'll work on that later. So 4 instruments, and one thing that I would recommend you do is to change some of the instrumentations according to the different parts. For instance, here we have those pads that are played with the strings for all the different sections, for the intro, the verse, the chorus, and so forth. I'm going to add a little bit of contrast. I'm going to differentiate the intro from the rest. So I'm just going to drag and drop anytime I have an intro to that new MIDI track. I think I'm also going to use Omnisphere here. So I'll load up an instance of Spectrasonic Omnisphere. And same exact process, I'm going to go through different sounds and try to find something that would work with that intro. And I'm picturing something more atmospheric here, something a little more low-key, not as defined as the rest, to create even more contrast. So I'm going to go through different sounds, and hopefully I'll find something that works. You know, if I go from the intro to the verse, that change of sound I think is going to add a lot to that contrast, which I'm looking for. Let's now work on that theme. If you remember, what we had here for the theme is an electric piano. It doesn't really match the cinematic feel that I'm going after. It doesn't work. The harmony works great, but the sound doesn't. I know exactly what I'm going for here. I'm going for a wind type of thing. And I'm going to load up something from East West. And it's into, I think it's in the Persian Empire instruments. It's the duduk. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Perfect. That's great. That's exactly what I'm going for. The drum track that we have is just a simple loop that we added last week without really thinking too much about it. We just wanted some kind of rhythm guideline to get a feel for things. I'm not going to use that, at least not now. I might come back to it. So I'm going to mute that and I'm going to create an additional MIDI track. I'm going to create an addictive drum track, stereo. And then it's just a matter of browsing. So I want something a little more calm, maybe just a few cymbals going on. Kind of like that. It's a good starting point. I'm just going to drag and drop that beat onto my track. And anytime I have an intro, we have the harmonic content of the bass. It's kind of following the chords, but now we need to make that bass line actually follow the drums. The main thing I'm listening for here is the kick. And I'm going to try to match my bass hits with that kick. So I'm only focusing on that, then I'll add some different embellishments. So only pay attention to the kick first. And that's basically what I'm doing. I'm cleaning up things. I am writing a coherent bass section to the drums. I might go through different bass sounds and try to find something that matches. And then I'll listen to the full track and I'll add a few ear candies here and there. A few sounds, maybe I'll add some fills at the end of each section. Between the intro to the verse, I'll add a fill in addictive drums. I'm gonna upload what I have done on my website, davidwallman.com. You'll be able to compare the original track that we had last week with what I'm going to have in about an hour. I'm gonna take the next hour and just polish things. I hope you enjoy this. Next week, we're going to continue. We're getting close to the end, really. So I will see you then. Thanks so much for following the series. Practice well, and I will see you next week. Until then, salut!